if Rob Skiba could figure this out, I think it's quite possible that the creator of the cosmos could have figured out the same thing and engineered our beautiful sunsets.
The creator of the cosmos? I'm sorry, if you believe in a literalist creator, he didn't have to figure it out, he made it. That's like God popped into the universe with its existing physical laws and was like, how does this work? And then he got out a notepad and a pencil and started figuring out the physics of the universe. Do you believe he's the creator or not? Hello lovely people, my name is Emma. Welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you are new. Today is a first for me. I've had a few people ask if I'm going to discuss this particular conspiracy at some point, and I totally see why. There is a huge amount of crossover between the Flat Earth conspiracy theory and young Earth creationism, which I would argue is also a conspiracy theory. And since I've touched on young Earth creationism a number of times, it's kind of surprising that this hasn't come up yet. Whether you're after meditation, yoga, breathing clocks, sleep sounds, yours has everything you need, all in one place. I am so pleased to again be partnering with yours. My top picks for the week: I've been enjoying the slow yoga for beginners, I like to call it sloga, and this sleep story, monster hunting in Loch Ness. I really like the way the sleep stories work. You get this beautiful mix of music with the really lovely narration. It's so soft, it just comforts you and works together really well, gets you enthralled in a story but in a way that is relaxing, and it's just lovely. You've got the guided classes for body, for meditation. You've also just got techniques and advice. You've got clocks and timers. However you prefer to work on your mindfulness, yours has a way to make it happen. Highly recommend lo-fi in the music section for chill vibes. Seriously the best. Yours is not only so feature rich, but it's also cheaper than every other mindfulness app I've tried. And if you go to yoursapp.com/Emma, or you use the discount code Emma, you get 60% off your yearly subscription. It's such a good deal, it's such a great app, I'm really loving using it. I'm trying to gently tease some flexibility back into my stiff body. Do check it out via the link down below, use my promo code. Thank you for listening and checking it out. Thank you to yours for partnering with me, I'm so pleased. Back to today's video. This is not the first time I've had a message from a flat earther. The Earth is flat with a dome over it, the sun moon are small and travel above the Earth in a circle. To edge of the Earth is Antarctica, then the dome. NASA lies. I tend to ignore most of these because they're either incomprehensible or just completely absurd. But when you get a message from somebody with the tagline, Jesus Christ is alive, a link to a video on the Flat Earth model, with seemingly unrelated scripture, Jesus answered and said unto him, Verily, verily, I say unto thee, except a man be born again, he cannot see the kingdom of God. Well, you can't ignore that. So today, I guess we're going to find out how the sun and moon work in the Flat Earth model. Sorry, not in the Flat Earth model, over the Flat Earth model. Hello lovely people, sorry to interrupt you once again. Before we get into the video, I thought it important to include the unfortunate and tragic fact that the person we're doing the video on today, Rob Skiba, passed away last year from COVID-19. I didn't find out until I'd recorded the video, and I thought it would be disrespectful not to include it. Unfortunately, Skiba was involved in vaccine conspiracies, and this just goes to show, if nothing else, how dangerous they really can be. While the people that make and promote this content for other people are culpable and should be culpable in many ways, they are also victims of the conspiracies, and that's never clearer than when someone loses their life. For the sake of any family and friends that might be affected, let's try and keep civil discourse in the comments section, keep it respectful. Rest in peace to this dude. If you are able to get your vaccines and get your boosters, please do. So this video we're going to look at today is by a chap called Rob Skiba, who has 219,000 subscribers. Just as a little selfish aside, I think we might be able to get to 75k here before maybe the end of summer. So if you like this channel, share my videos and subscribe, please. If Flat Earth channels can have over 200,000 subscribers, I think I can have a few more. It's an astonishing amount of people. I really hope that some of the viewers are, like, watching for entertainment value. I know a lot of people like to engage with conspiracy stuff as sort of like to laugh at it rather than engage with it, so I hope a lot of it is that. The comment sections of these things always make me very worried because the people who tend to comment tend to be the ones that believe, and if 200,000 people think that this guy's videos about the Earth being flat are accurate, I might just lose faith in humanity. Let's focus up. We're not here to dive into this dude's whole back catalogue. Maybe another time. For now, we're interested in how the sun and moon work in the Flat Earth model, or over the Flat Earth model.
I'm sure by now most of you have probably seen this little animation I created. This was done actually back in May of 2015, so it was a month after I first got into this.
I don't know why he was reaching so hard to figure out the date when it's on the screen.
Kind of considering all of it.
He released this video on my birthday. This original animation of the sun going over the flat Earth. He released that on my birthday. What a gift. 2015. So I would have been... This animation came out on my 20th birthday.
Well, I wonder how that would work. And so I created a little animation in Poser. Created a point light with a limited throw ratio. So
this is one of my favorite things in conspiracy theories. Is when people are like, I wonder how that would work. And instead of researching it and uncovering that it wouldn't work because the Earth is a globe, they just go, I'll just make it up. I'll just create an animation. I'll have a little point light spin around this flat disk, and then we'll assume that that's factual, and we'll put that on the internet for other people to believe. Even though I've self-admittedly just made it up because I was like, how would that work? Somebody has to have some self-awareness in here.
The light is limited as far as how far it'll go, and just animated it in a circle over the circular flat Earth map. Now, let me just say, neither one of these are to scale. I was just going for the concept here. According to Zetetic Astronomy and other resources, people looking at the sun and gauging its size and distance using a sextant.
Can you do that? So I know that you can use a sextant to observe the sun to gauge your position, right? And to navigate. So you can use a sextant to find the angle between the sun and the horizon. How do you use a sextant to measure the size of the sun? I don't understand. I understand how you can use a sextant to find your own latitude and longitude. I don't understand it. Maybe you can, and I just don't understand it, and I can't find it on the internet. But that's, yeah, just let me know. Let me know in a comment if that's a real thing or what.
Apparently the sun would be just shy of about 40 miles across and roughly 3,000 miles high, so obviously that's not being depicted here. That scale's not...
When he says 3,000 miles high, does he mean above the Earth? But the sun is like 150,000 kilometers away. What's that in miles? 93 million.
Accurate. And it
Let's
would
just hear
go in and out on the various tropics and, of course, the equator. For more information on that, see my animation to the right there. It says how the 4 seasons work on the flat Earth model. Why?
Why would I want to watch this guy just make up an animation that's not based on anything? It's just him going, I wonder how that works. I could just animate the sun doing a fucking loop-de-loop across the Earth. It doesn't mean that that's how it works. We don't learn anything from that other than that I can make a sun do a loop-de-loop. What's the point?
Check that one out, and also you might want to listen to the radio show that I did with Zen Garcia, who's done some amazing work in tying all this into the Book of Enoch and how Enoch describes the various motions of the heavenly luminaries. Lots of good stuff there. But of course...
Agree to disagree. I've heard of Zen Garcia. Amazing work is not the term I would use to describe what he's done.
The critics look at this and they say stuff like,
if the sun and moon were just circling over the flat Earth and getting too far away to see, then we would see them shrink and fade out of view as they set. But we don't. Flat Earthers will show you videos where the sun appears to grow or shrink, but this is an illusion due to thick clouds. You can always see that there are clouds near the horizon when they try to show this.
It's cool that they're including debunking in their own videos now.
Normally, this illusion does not happen.
Oh, so he said that flat earthers are always hiding it behind clouds or whatever. Well, there's plenty of footage out there you can find where there's no clouds involved. This is from a really good video online you guys need to check out called Flat Earth Proof Sunset Off Pucket. I'm not sure if that's exactly how you pronounce it. P-H-U-K-E-T. Really interesting, showing...
In normal perception, when rigid objects move in depth, the angular size of the light stimulating our eyes grows or shrinks. It's an illusion caused by being able to contextualize the sun's size against the horizon objects. As the sun gets down to the horizon, it's shining through the atmosphere on edge. The atmosphere then magnifies the sun. This occurs in the mornings as well. It also occurs with moonrise and moonset. So it's an optical illusion that isn't strictly caused by clouds. The end.
Sunset, I believe this was actually somewhere off the equator. Again, you'd have to watch that video for yourself, but it clearly shows the sun changing in diameter as it goes away.
Sure.
So please take note not to ignore this evidence. Other videos you've seen where it looks like it's going in an arc like that and going off into the distance. Other videos where people have taken and used filters and whatnot and analyzed the sun moving and then done measurement of pixels across the screen, showing that it does in fact look like it gets a little bit smaller in some cases. In some cases it gets a lot smaller. In this case, from 302 pixels to 290.
The sun looks smaller when setting due to the increasing density and resulting larger index of refraction of the air as the line of sight comes closer and closer to being tangent to the Earth's surface. My question is this, and I'm not a scientist. I presume neither is Rob. My question is this. How is the sun... Because these videos are demonstrating the sun disappearing beyond the horizon. How is that happening on a flat Earth? I know this video is supposed to demonstrate how the sun and moon work on the flat Earth model, right? And all his evidence so far seems to contradict that, and I'm just more confused. I don't understand how... Doesn't this demonstrate curvature so far? The fact that it's disappearing beyond the horizon? Very confused.
Then, of course, there's this video right here, which apparently was shot in the desert, where there's going to be a lot less moisture. And so whenever there's less moisture...
I think this is a bit like... We said this kind of thing when I was looking at people like Kent Hovind trying to explain Genesis and the Earth being however many years old. You have to start with a presupposition, right? So this guy, much like how all of Kent Hovind's arguments only work because you start by believing that the Earth is 6,000 years old, this guy's ideas and theories only work because he thinks that the sun... You have to start with the flat Earth and the sun being near. Whereas in reality, the sun is very, very far away.
You're going to obviously have less refraction and magnification.
You don't get to pick the anomalies that seem to agree with your views and ignore the common observations that don't, and still call yourself an honest investigator. That is intellectually dishonest.
So thinking about all this and thinking about what I had just shown you regarding atmospheric lenses,
what we've just seen regarding videos of the sun that can be very easily explained.
Magnification, refraction, all that with regard to cities and objects at a distance on the land, I got to thinking, I wonder how this would work with the sun and moon. So this is what I came up with. I've got my magnifying sheet frame, and I created a little stand to paste the sun on it and keep it the same height over the flat surface of a table. So the sun is always going to be parallel with the surface. And check this out. All right, here's the first test of a sun moving over a flat surface. And with no atmospheric magnification, it does what we might expect it would. It gets smaller as it goes away from us. All right, now let's see what happens when we add in our atmospheric magnification. Again, water.
This reminds me of the multi-level marketing science experiments where you're like, hang on, can we go back to the drawing board? Can you tell me what your hypothesis is? Can you tell me what the conditions of this experiment are? Can you show me your notes that you're making for this? I don't even know what we're trying to prove here. We've got a picture of a sun on a piece of paper that we're moving back and forward. Somebody sent me this video to turn me toward Jesus. That's what this is for. Somebody out there, this is a real human being, sent this to me thinking that this guy's animations that he randomly made on my birthday, which is spooky, I will grant you, and this piece of paper with a picture of the sun on it is going to convince me that Jesus Christ is our Lord and Saviour. That's what somebody actually thought might happen sharing this with me. Whoo!
And refraction. Water causes magnification and refraction, right? So let's bring the sun back. Oh, check this out. Refraction bends the light downward.
Every one of these, Every one of these conspiracy theory things we've looked at, the videos have the guy being like, and so this shows that. The last one we did had tons of that. They always do this, like, smug, self-centered, like... It's always really close to the microphone, and so, like... But you see, I don't even have to explain, I can just chuckle derisively. They all do that, it's so fucking funny to me.
It made the sun set on a parallel surface as it was moving
Did it? What did it do? Let me watch it again.
The light downward. It made the sun set on a parallel surface as it was moving parallel, the same height, the whole way over a flat surface.
So this like refractive, whatever this surface perspex, I guess, whatever this perspex is doing, he's saying that that's doing atmosphere does as an optical illusion. I'm still not sure.
Not only that, well, let's bring in the beginning of that little test, and we see that it maintained pretty much the same size, too.
I thought it was supposed to shrink.
Pretty close. And of course, that's because as it's moving away, the magnification is still taking place. And so even though the sun's further away than it was in the beginning of the test, the magnification basically preserved the same size, and the refraction made it set. Of course, again, depending on how much moisture is in the air, we could see that the sun doesn't appear to change in size at all as it goes down. We could see sometimes perhaps that it looks like it's getting bigger when it goes down. You ever see like a really big sunset or moonrise, moonset, where one of them looks really large on the horizon? Well, that could be because there's lots of moisture in the air causing that effect. Or when there's less moisture in the air, obviously you won't have as much magnification taking place, and so it looks smaller as it goes away. So it's all relative to the amount of moisture that's in the air.
I don't understand. This whole thing relies on an experiment that we cannot verify. Like I said, it's just like the frickin' MLM videos. It's like we just have to assume that this perspex that he's got refracts light the exact same way that water vapor in the atmosphere does. Where's the fact? We have to prove that first. You have to prove that the experiment is actually valid before we use the experiment to prove anything else.
Now, I'm just going to put forward a crazy idea for you to think about. And that is, if Rob Skiba could figure this out, I'm just going to go out on a limb here. I think it's quite possible that the creator of the cosmos could have figured out the same thing and engineered our beautiful sunsets.
The creator of the cosmos, I'm sorry, if you believe in a literalist creator, he didn't have to figure shit out, he made it. He made it work the way he wanted to. God's supposed to be all-powerful. That's a really stupid thing to say. That's like God popped into the universe with its existing physical laws and was like, how does this work? And then he got out a notepad and a pencil and started figuring out the physics of the universe. Do you believe he's the creator or not?
All of that water he placed in our atmosphere. Just something to think about.
The problem is, and like the comment section is full of this too, granted it's full of a lot more people being like, wow, Rob, this is brilliant, because he sounds very convincing, and he does that smug, derisive laughter that makes people think that he's right. It's a great tactic, maybe I should start doing it. But the fact is, we know how far away the sun is, we know roughly how big it is. Somebody in the comment section even points out we've been bouncing lasers and radar off of the sun for a long time, and they ask, do you just not believe in radar or whatever as well? And coming from the perspective of somebody who, granted as a much younger person, believed in and fell for conspiracy theories, the answer is yes. Once you are committed to that kind of belief, it is very, very easy to then disbelieve in everything else. That's why it's so early in these conspiracy theories, so much of it hinges on distrust of the government, distrust of science. You need that to be able to follow the beliefs through, because then when something like radar pops up, you say, well, the government lies, NASA lies. I never believed in flat Earth. It wasn't as big a thing when I was a kid. It seems to have been popularised a little bit more recently, or it's exploded out a bit more recently anyway. But I did believe stuff like the moon landing was fake, and I believed that there was a world government that was in control of all of these things, that NASA lied as a result of that, and as soon as you convince yourself of that, you can believe anything. You can be made to believe anything because you have complete distrust in science and in the government and in these organisations. It makes me kind of sad because I don't really know how to combat this. I don't know what we do to stop this from happening. I think calling it out and providing real information, stuff like people like Simon Dan do, I think that's fantastic and I think that's a great step. But like I say, once you're already convinced, you're convinced, right? Let me know what you think down below, because I'm genuinely asking. The one thing I know and I wholeheartedly believe is that prevention is better than cure. If you can reach people with the real information before they're subject to the misinformation, and this is a real science thing as well, people are far, far less likely to be taken in by the misinformation. That's why education is so important. But beyond the point where people already believe, I don't know what to do. I think discrediting these people is valuable and important, but when you're a huge fan, look at our Kent Hovind videos. He's been wrong about the exact same things for 30 years. He's been disproven by scientists, by theologists, by an enormous amount of people, and his followers are still his followers, and they always will be. They adore him and trust him, and have distrust in the systems that he tells them not to trust. So what do we do? I don't mean for this to turn into like a depressing thing. I'm genuinely asking if there are some solutions. If you used to believe in any kind of conspiracies like this, what was it that brought you out of it? For me, I was just a kid and not exposed to it that often, so having time away and in the real world, so to speak, I think I just forgot about it and got exposed to the way that misinformation can spread, that I don't think there was a defining line for me of, oh, this isn't true, actually. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you would like to see more of this. Mostly I don't look at the flat earth stuff because I'm not a scientist, and it takes me Googling to be able to understand even what they're trying to say to be able to refute it. There must be something in the type of person that makes conspiracy content, because almost everyone I see uses fucking ableist language. It's deeply fucking offensive and it makes you sound stupid as hell. Doesn't do a lot for their credibility, you know? That's all I can stomach from Rob Skeever. Let me know what you thought, let me know what your ideas are. If you did enjoy this video, do give it a like, leave some ideas for me down in the comments, maybe give the video a share, check out some of my other stuff. It all really, really helps. Before we go, I would like to give a huge thank you and a big shout out to my giant chickens over on Patreon. Aaron Speer, Amalgam of Neuroses, Amber, Azku, Baked Bads, Bert Whitehead, Chantale, Chris Simpson, Connie Wright, Connla, Chicken Maximus Lions, goddammit Connla, Cory Garner, Curious Quokka, Danny, Denny5252, Dr. Mint, L, Faye Gregory, Fulcrum, Gaming Ridge, Gay of Reckoning, George Bush, Henry Curtis, Izzy, Jan Bojarp, Jason Metcalf, Joe Rowe, John Fry, John Smith, Kent Woodward, Chris Convaga, Lizzie Gale, Lynn Dobbs, Mattus McChickennuggetus, Miles Tegg, Mogaringa, Mr. Creosote, Nerd Fiction, Ninja Red, Peter Kerouac, Psyched Dude, Kike, Racing Pig, Rosina Keller, Sarah Shavy, Simping on Emma Thorne, Seriously, Supreme Potato 471, Tanklow, Taxman, Thalia Says Trans Rights, The Enchanter formerly known as Tim, The Myth Vision Podcast, Tracy O'Rourke, Valerie, and Wasatch Witch. Thank you so, so much. You guys are amazing. Thank you for all your support. I've been getting a lot of love over on Twitch. I've been getting even love on my YouTube gaming channel that formerly only my mum watched. So thank you so much. Do have a very lovely week, and I will see you really soon.